Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing in LinkedIn Live land or Facebook Live land? Or hey, you might be watching this on recording, so maybe it's the middle of the night. But wherever you are, whenever you are, hope you're great. Super excited to bring another conversation with one of my favorite networking partners to you. We're talking about how to supercharge your networking, all as we lead up to the release of Networking in the 21st Century, second edition, and Networking in the 21st Century, third edition. That's the one on LinkedIn. Super excited to actually have with me today my friend Catherine Johns, another powerful professional, both in actually doing her own networking, but also helping other people to improve their communication and their skills. Catherine, how are you?
I am fabulous, Dee, and I'm happy to be here.
Super excited to have you here. And by the way, dig in the shirt. You're livening up the live stream. Love the colors. Super fun.
Thank you. I am known for colorful.
Yes, you are.
In many ways.
Exactly. So, hey, let's just kick it off. Here's the question that I have for you. I've been asking everybody, what one activity has had the biggest impact on the quality of your network?
Well, for me, and this won't surprise you, it's speaking. I'm a speaker myself. I coach people to be better at speaking, whether they're going to get up in front of a big audience or present at a conference table to a potential client. And when I speak, I almost always generate future opportunities out of that. I have some things coming up in October that there's one person who heard me speak in 2017 and circled, isn't that something? And circled back just recently because now she's in a position where she needs to bring in a speaker for the women's affinity group at her company. And she thought about me. So two things, it's speaking, and you know that I write a weekly newsletter, and it is a lot of work and a labor of love.
Right.
And I have done that every single Wednesday since September of 2014. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
A really long time. And so that's how people stay connected. This woman heard me speak in 2017, but she's been reading my newsletter every week since then. And so I'm still in her field of consciousness when it's time to look for a speaker.
I love that. So kind of two things I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
One is find opportunities to get in front of a larger group of people than just one-on-one, right?
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, so I love that idea of speaking. And I would almost say, though, that you don't have to be a professional speaker to leverage those kind of opportunities.
Not at all. Not at all.
What have you seen work for people who aren't, professional speakers to speak in front of audiences?
There are networking groups that meet regularly that feature a member every week or every other week or once a month or whatever it is, where everybody has their 30-second, 45-second introduction, but one person gets 5 minutes or 10 minutes to kind of highlight their work. Those are a great opportunity to let people know a little bit more about what you do than what they could absorb in your elevator speech, as they call it.
Yeah. One thing. Oh, go ahead.
For a lot of groups, for a lot of people, chambers of commerce are a good spot for that.
Absolutely. I agree with that. One thing I think is also really useful for people who maybe have some expertise in their world, but don't have the ability to become a speaker or not in one of those networking organizations. Professional associations and conferences and events, don't try to run a breakout session at those, but try to get on a panel, right? That's something that I've found is a really good way for people who, again, it's just not their main focus area to be a speaker, but again, a subject matter expert, a lot of information to share, because then they're on a stage with 3 or 4 or 5 other people. They're just being asked questions. I've actually moderated a lot of these, so that's kind of why I think about this. And that's a great way to, as you point out, to start a conversation or invite people to a conversation kind of at scale, right? So you're talking to the whole room, there's 20 people, and then you're saying, hey, here's the expertise I have. I love that.
And out of those 20 people, maybe there are 3 who are perfect clients for you. I mean, it's probably not the room. Right. So go into it with a reasonable expectation. But what you really want to do is connect with that handful of people who are interested in what you do and ready for it or will be in the near future.
I love that. And to your point about follow-up, then, the follow-up newsletter, I think I've done a weekly one. I might have you beat by a couple years, I think since 2009. And you're right.
Wow.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
But I think what I would suggest to people, and tell me what you think about this, is if you're not, a business owner or, solopreneur, entrepreneur, you can still have a newsletter, right? And it doesn't have to even come out every week. Even if it's just like once a month or even once a quarter, just this idea of having some sort of regular follow-up and telling people, because they care if they're in your network, hey, here's what I'm up to, right?
The challenge about doing it irregularly, though, or, monthly is not bad, but when you stretch it out more than that, people forget.
Yeah,
and you
true.
show up in their inbox, you're unexpected, and they go, what is this? And unsubscribe.
Right.
Because our inboxes are full. Who has room for more? So I think there's an advantage to doing it regularly, even if it's very short. I mean, it doesn't have to be a full-blown newsletter. And in fact, my impression is that a lot of big names in marketing are not doing full newsletters anymore. They're sending an email and it's a short article. It's not packaged the way it used to be. It doesn't have the graphics that they used to attach to it, because who has time? People just people look at it. They think I'm interested or I'm not, and they're on to the next email.
Yeah.
So you don't have
short
to invest.
Is good.
Yeah, short is really good for most people. And then it's nice to write something longer once in a while. I also think social media, and specifically LinkedIn, and this is more in your bailiwick, but the LinkedIn can be a substitute for that. Yeah, there you go. What did she say?
Yeah.
So if you're not doing an email newsletter, you want to be posting on LinkedIn, sharing your expertise and connecting with people. So I've just recently started attending a networking group that people are really interesting and way smarter than I am. And I need to hear more about what they have to say. So after every meeting, I reach out to a few on LinkedIn and say, let's connect here, because I want to follow them. I want to learn more about what they know, which is a lot. And so that gives me a way then to follow up.
Oh, that's people. Great.
Yeah. And it's really important staying connected.
Well, and that's really it, right? The idea of finding ways to continue to build and cultivate that relationship. Something I say a lot is networking is not transactional, right? It's not passing a business card or meeting somebody. That's not networking. That's just the beginning, right?
Yes. And along those lines, something I say a lot is they call it social networking. It's a network, not a megaphone. So it's not enough to just post my stuff. I do need to share my expertise on LinkedIn, and I do regularly. But if I'm not also seeing what you post and commenting on it and questioning and adding something to it, then I'm not using the network the way it's meant to be used. It's not just about me showing up and shouting, here's what I do, and here's why you need it every other day, right? And a lot of people do that on LinkedIn. They don't engage with other people. So I think it's a slow process. You can speak to that too, right? It's not like you sign up for LinkedIn and you get an automatic people buying from you. But over time, you do develop relationships that way if you use it as a network.
I love that idea. It's a conversation, right? And no matter what the LinkedIn lead generation marketing companies want you to believe, it does take time, right? And if you do it right, and I think that if you have that long-term approach, you definitely get more bang for your buck. It's just a long-term approach. Well, and kind of going back to your idea of I love that idea of a regular newsletter using social. I mean, one of the things that I often suggest is that you want to have both, because the great thing about LinkedIn is it's fast, it's immediate. You do have a chance to kind of reach out to people, but not everybody sees it, right? And so then you have the newsletter, which takes a little bit more time. And let's just call it an email. You don't have to call it a newsletter, right? Just like a follow-up email. And even just sending a couple paragraphs. To your point, I think you're right. More than once a month is tough, but even every other week or once a month at most, a couple of paragraphs, because then you know that everybody sees it, that bit. But then having that, and you do a great job of this, kind of just not only telling people what you're up to, but as you said, kind of engaging with other people's content and kind of starting and continuing the conversation. I think that's a really big piece here.
Yeah, I think it's huge. And the truth is, nobody wants to engage with me if I'm just yammering about myself. If I don't make it clear how my offering supports you or makes your business better or your life better, then you don't care.
That's right.
You're just not interested. And really, everybody's busy and we're inundated with marketing messages. The last thing we need in our inbox or on LinkedIn is more of those.
Right.
So unless they have some opportunity for meaningful connection or engagement, they're kind of pass us by and they're just pixels in the wind.
I love that. Pixels in the wind. And to your point, make it relevant. And also, kind of tie this up and go back full circle. Make it relevant to a degree that even if it's not what they need right now, you're still there. You're still in their brain. You're still in their mind. They still know you're out there, so that when they do actually have that need, you're the person that they reach out to.
Yeah,
right.
That's what you hope for. And you and I have talked about this with respect to LinkedIn. I've been at it pretty seriously now for a couple of years. I post almost every weekday, and every day I go in and comment on some other people's posts. So I make sure that it's not a one-way thing. I'm not just spewing my stuff at people. And it took a long time before somebody said, "Hey, I saw that piece you wrote, and could we talk? Because I think I need you." It took a long time, and it got kind of discouraging because I think I was a little unrealistic about how interesting I am.
Well, no, it's not that. I don't think it has anything to do with being uninteresting, because I think you're interesting. It does take that kind of accumulation, right?
Yeah.
And even before that first person actually reached out, you think about how much interaction that was happening. You just didn't know about it. The people reading it and going, "Oh, that's an interesting point," or "Oh, I see what Catherine's doing." And I think that that's a great reminder for people that online or offline, networking takes time. And you have to invest. I always say it's like planting seeds. You got to plant the seed. You got to water it, cultivate it.
I know.
It's not,
pull out the weeds.
Pull out the weeds. You don't go the next day and go like, "Where's my crop?" You got to take that time.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it. So hey, we could probably keep talking, but I think we've nailed it. Invest in your network. Put some time to put great information out there. Do it in speaking, offline. Do it online. Be there. And then just start conversations, right? And really build those relationships.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That's
By the way,
all right.
Yeah. If you want to find out more about all the cool things Catherine's doing, definitely find her right here on LinkedIn. Or if you're not watching this on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn and find her. And of course, I have to tell everybody that we're a week away from the release of the second edition of Networking in the 21st Century and the third edition of Networking in the 21st Century on LinkedIn. Super excited about that.
Very exciting.
We're gonna have more of these great conversations. But that's it. Everybody, have a great day. Bye.